Hey everyone, I'm sorry about the audio quality. I'm at work right now, finishing up. We finished up for the day. I'm working on my '03 Silverado, single cab short bed. This is my baby. This has been at work for the longest time. I bought it as a 4.3 5-speed manual truck, and it had 250,000 miles. I drove it for about 6,000 more. Had a rod knock, exhaust manifolds leak. It sounded terrible, but it was trusty and it always turned on. One day I took it to Target, security system activated, and it wouldn't let me turn the truck over. I said, I'm not diagging this. I'm not putting any money into it. I already had plans to throw a 5.3 in here, which is already placed in. Transmission is loosely connected, but I said I'm not spending any money on it. I already have this motor I want to put in. Time to do a rebuild. So, it's a single cab, obviously cloth seats, roll down windows. Love it. It's everything I could ask for, especially 250,000 miles. It's not terrible. The frame's not rotted out. And everything inside still looks and works pretty good. I did a head unit and did speaker upgrades. Also did a headliner in it because the old one was trash. Haven't finished putting it back together. I have to wrap the mirrors and do some other little things, but 5-speed manual, which I can't ask for anything else. And it ran and got great gas mileage. So, but as far as rust, it had some spots. This was previous to me parking it for almost a year. Had a spot here, which I suck at body work, so I tried and then I never got to it. And here, which obviously I'm gonna have to go over and fix up, but it's not too bad. The rockers are bad on this. It could use a new front bumper. It was previously in an accident. If you couldn't tell right here, bumpers kind of pushed all out of whack. Those are 2024 Cadillac Escalade rims on it. I'm gonna sell those. I hate it. I'm not a fan anymore. I want to really make this truck sit low and handle well and perform decently good. So now to the heart of the car. It is a mild cam 5.3. I assembled it and put it together. New bearings on the lower end. It has a new cam in it, which it's a Howard's turbo cam, but the cam was free, so I'm not going to complain about it. Then Beehive springs. Got some LS7, I believe, Chevrolet LS7 performance lifters in here. But Gen 3 5.3 LS, can't go wrong with it. Absolutely love it. I can't wait to hear this thing start. I've got some long tubes on it, which actually fit really well, considering that long tubes are a notorious pain to try and get on the truck. And then I have I believe, stage 1 monster clutch or ram clutch in there to go behind this to mate to the NV 3500. I am severely stressing the drivetrain with this, so I'm assuming I will have to do upgrades in the future, but for now I just want to get it running and driving. I'm retaining heat. I'll retain AC, but that'll be a later project. I want to get the thing running and driving first, and then go from there. I'm going to do a oil cooler, which honestly fits perfectly right there. I have no problems with that. Stock belt drive and everything. I mean, alternator's a little rusty, but she'll be good. She'll wear in. This is it was a newish water pump, but obviously at this point, I don't know. Other than that, that's really all that's done to the truck. Today, I am figuring out the cooling system. I pulled out the stock radiator, which was from the 4.3, and I am excited to put this in. This is my 3-core aluminum radiator from Alloy Works. It came with a fan shroud and fans already mounted. See if you can see. Extremely excited to be working with that and be able to put that in, because that'll definitely keep this LS cool. This was still rated to actually be able to handle it, but yeah, well, I'm already here. I may as well do something new and make it look nice and pretty. So I am going to get the fittings off of this, the rubber grommets up there and down there, get them mounted on the new one, and then I'm going to try and slap this in, and I'll come back to you after this is slapped in the car. Hopefully it fits well. It's obviously a decent bit wider than that old one, so fingers crossed. Alrighty, first issue. I got it mounted in. Ironically enough, they do leave provisions for the new radiator, which obviously is wider, being it's for a 5.3. But we're hitting on the frame, which does us no good. So I'm gonna have to figure that out, and I'll come back with an answer for that hopefully soon. I see obviously the 1 grommet didn't come in right, didn't pop out right, so I gotta see if that's an issue.
All built with Temu parts.
But this is my boss. He's working on his jet skis right now.
This was a good value.
I gotta work on this and figure it out. Be right back. Okay, so we're back. Once I got this side fully seated in the mount, it dropped down, fit in. But as you see, I had a little rubbage here. You can tell by the discolorant and the paint. So what I did was I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna grind that little nipple on the top, this little section here down, with the chop saw, just kind of flatten it out a little bit, which should allow me to drop it the little bit that I need to actually fit the radiator perfectly and have no issues where it could rub through or any of that. So I'm just gonna use the chop saw and hold it like this, hit the button, and I'll be back in a minute when I am ready to actually show you the final product, and I'll show you that it's not hitting anymore. Okay, so we're back. You see it's chopped down. There's a noticeable difference where there's not a lot of height, but we're back to over here. I'm gonna pause this and actually flip the camera real quick. Makes it easier to film. But I'm just gonna place that in the hole and I'll show you this. I'll be right back. So all I did, see there's provisions. That's for where the stock radiator with the 4.3 fit. This is obviously the wider hole. We're just gonna take it and basically find the hole, ironically enough. It's a lot easier with multiple hands, but I don't really feel like dealing with it. And now we're dropped down and in perfectly. I gotta get the mount off that other side. We're not hitting over here anymore. You can probably see that through here. There's no touchage anymore, if it'll focus. No touchage. So I'm gonna pop this other grommet out for the other side and bolt it in. I'll be right back with that. But what you basically do is you just pop it through, because there's a metal collar to obviously maintain rigidity inside the rubber, because the rubber is very flimsy, as you can see. I bent it very easily with one hand. All you do from there is squeeze it in and through until it fits in the groove. You just take this, push it back in till it's flush. Then, ironically enough, I'm using exhaust stud bolts for an LS that we did a job on, and they fit perfectly. And they're the perfect length with a nice little washer on it to actually bolt these in and have no problems with that at all. I gotta tighten it down. That's a 13. I believe it's a M10 125. I don't remember off the top of my head, but okay. So make sure we're not hitting anywhere. I don't think we are. Should be good. This is obviously just gonna be a little bit of a pain. So I will be right back with this bolted in. All right, beautiful. Now we're bolted in. I gotta still tighten these down, but I needed 2 hands for that. So I am very excited also because I got a package from Speedway Engineering. I have a plethora of different hose barbs and fittings and hoses and whatnot. Purely for the fact, I also got my steam ports so I can get my intake on and fully tight, but I didn't want to do that before. What I'm going to do on this car specifically, I had a Corvette style steam port for it. It doesn't fit because the manifold is too low down in the bottom. So what I did is I'm just going to run steam port across one and then across on the back. Multiple different people have said different things, that they're good to use or bad to use. I personally run them just because I don't have enough years of experience with LS's to actually see the difference. But for this, I could wait, get the correct parts. It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a huge headache. So I got them. I don't know if I'm going to do that today, but I want to figure out the routing for the hoses, obviously, because I'm sure I could buy factory stock lines, but I'd rather just make my own, because I need the tee in from the steam fitting, because the 4.3 liter didn't have that, and I didn't get a radiator. Maybe I did. Maybe I'm lying. I think that's a steam port. I don't know. If it is, then I don't have to run that, which is perfect. That makes life so much easier. But these fans will be wired to a relay. I will show that another time. I'm not doing it today. But I'm extremely happy with how this actually fits in here and looks, because it just it's double the size of the old radiator, and it really does make a difference. So yeah, we're good over there as far as size and depth. We're good over here. We're not rubbing on anything, and we shouldn't be rubbing on anything. But I'll be right back once I get a general idea for the hoses, and I'll show you exactly what's going on. Okay, so now that I got a rough idea, I've came back, and now I'm contemplating my life decisions, because wow, this is ugly. I think right here I'm gonna get a 45, and this is not pretty. So this is I believe an 8-inch or a 6-inch section. I'm gonna see if I can find one that's just the length, so I don't have to actually run 1, 2, and then have a hose here. I'd love to do a 90 right off of this, because this is part of the old hose that I used for mock-up. So I definitely need a 45 and 2 inch, I think. I gotta double check. I believe it was 1 1/4. Okay, so I gotta get another 1 1/4. Gotta get a 45, 1 1/4 in silicone, because I'm gonna run that into this, which is gonna go across. I don't hate this. The aluminum will actually help dissipate a little bit of heat as well. I'm not getting into that. I don't think it's gonna be a super noticeable difference, but it's something to begin with. Plus, I don't feel like getting too crazy with it. And this is kind of ghetto, but it'll work, and I know it'll work. So then I gotta get probably a 40. Jesus, if I can get this off, that'd be great. A 45, or not a 45, a 90, but I don't know if I want to have this equal out right there, which will probably be like a 3-inch silicone coupler, another one of those 90s, and then we're money. Once I can take that straight coupler off here, I think we should be good. So I'm home finally, looking at the video and editing, making sure everything's good, and I realized that little nipple off of the radiator is actually a steam port vent to the radiator, so I don't have to run an adapter. I ordered a universal metal swivel line that I'm going to run as the upper rad hose, so we don't have multiple different points that it could leak from. That should be in sometime next week. And when I have enough, or when I go work on the car some more, I will show the install of that, because people don't know how to do it, or you might have questions about it, so hopefully I can answer those questions. That's the list of stuff. But for the lower line, we had amazing success, because I basically butchered the original line, and it works. I don't know how it works, but it works. I have a little 2-inch coupler here that I'm going to clamp on both sides. We have plenty of space for it to clamp on, so there shouldn't be any leaks. This is a 90 that I've kind of made into a weird angle, but we're not going to look too deeply at that, obviously. This fits perfectly. I'll double clamp that. We should be good to there. The upper hose is what I'm really concerned about, but I think once I get a 45 for here, it'll put us about there, which is straight across, lower than hood level, so we should be fine. And then I'll get another little straight here, another 90, and then we should be good to go right in. And I don't think we'll have any problems. But I also was looking at this radiator, and I think this is for the steam ports. I think it's a built-in steam port adapter for the radiator, and I don't see another one on this side, so I'm going to agree with that it is the steam port holder and location. I'm going to verify that and do some research before I go crazy and finalize the cooling system, but that's a good start, and I'm glad we at least have that. I can run the stock bottle. This will go right to here. I'll get that on. I'll screw around with that. Intake will pop right in. So the next steps for this truck, I'm gonna actually do the steam ports today because I'm doing pretty good on time. I gotta go home and actually get my jet ski running, which I will probably be videoing after this, ironically enough. But I gotta get that going. I'm gonna try and get the steam port on. I'm gonna get this intake off, and I will be back when the intake is off. It's not bolted down. It's just I gotta finagle it out from all the wires and other things. So I'll be right back with that, and stay tuned. All right, so intake's off. That was easy. I have the brake booster connected, so I didn't actually take it fully off the car. Got the bolts out, but I'm looking at it and it looks a little dirty. So I'm just gonna take some Scotch-Brite and clean it up a little bit, just because I want to get a good seal in there. And they can leak and be an annoyance when you have your intake on and you can't get to the bolts, especially the backs. So clean those up. Now they're nice and shiny. So basically what I'm going to do is I bought a universal kit from TSP, Top Street Performance. Has little O-rings. I use some black RTV. It just helps me have peace of mind that this is sealed and ready to go. I'm gonna drop it in. They supplied hardware with it, which is a nice touch because normally you got to try and make the other ones work, but they're Allen bolts. Just kind of pop them in. There are different sizes depending on what adapter you're using, because this kit comes with block-off plates as well. But I'm gonna throw these in. I'm gonna find the correct size Allen, and then I may need two hands for this, but that one, I'm gonna just get in there. Sometimes you gotta flex the steel braided hose, and it is not easy. There we go. I think that should be it. But I'll be right back. I'm gonna get those tightened down and in, and then I'll show you exactly what I do with the RTV. All right, so we're back. I found the right size. It was an H6 Allen, but you see it goes in. Just kind of make sure this is tight, because you're not going to be able to get this hose perfectly tight. It's not going to actually want to conform the perfect way, so you got to use the RTV. It helps just block it up, sorry. But it is the right stuff. The right stuff. It's not out, and I'm not trying to find it. But if you want, you can also take a 12 or whatever size it is and just, give it a little snug up. I'm probably turning it the wrong way, but whoops. I think that's gonna be tight, and we're gonna be fine there. If it leaks, I'll come back and figure it out. But I think that's okay for now. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna set you up here, and I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. So I got the fitting for the actual steam port. All I do is take some black RTV, smear a little bit on the threads, which should help block up any imperfections or any little air gaps that coolant will eventually find its way through. I hope you saw that all. We come over here, pop it in, thread it in, pray to God there's enough clearance, which it seems like there should be. We should be okay with that. And then I will tighten it down with this 12 millimeter wrench once again. Shout out Harbor Freight. Sponsor me. Maybe it's not a 12, it's probably bigger. I'm gonna go get the right wrench and I'll be back to show you. Who would have guessed? It's a 13. So just gonna now tighten this down until it's good enough. I don't wanna go too crazy because these are cheaper things, but should be good there. Now onto the rear. What I'm doing is I'm not using this where there's a fitting out. I am going to actually use the singular fitting like this one over here, and I'll show you. I'll open the other kit and go through it and show you. So this is the kit. I mean, TSP, Top Street Performance, just a universal steam port kit. I've used it before. I've had no issues with it. I actually don't mind it. So it comes with your stainless steel braided line and then a plethora of fittings, which is very nice, but just empty these out on the ground. So this is the fitting I use to actually spit the coolant out of the steam ports, which allows you to circulate it. I'm going to use these two here, which are the medium rise ones, to actually be able to flow coolant from the back steam ports across. Normally they're blocked off on the trucks, on your horsepower vehicles, your Camaro, your Corvettes, your Chevy SS, I believe. It has all four converging to one, which actually flows the coolant. And everybody wants that 4-to-1 cooler. They make aftermarket ones, but the original one's obviously pretty good. So people want to use it, but this will work just as well. I'm not doing anything crazy with this truck. I want it to make maybe 300 horsepower, 350 horsepower, but I'm very limited by the transmission and differential I have in this. And I want to be able to drive it. If it breaks after I get to drive it, so be it. I'll upgrade it, but I don't want it to break before I can drive it or do anything serious with it. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna get these installed on the stainless line, and then I'll show you exactly where it goes in the back. Thank you. All right, so we're back together. I gotta put O-rings on this still. So sometimes they have other gaskets, but these are an O-ring style. Again, it works, not a big deal. But O-rings are on. Basically, we are all the way in the back of this vehicle, which is fun. So now that we're in here, here's one, here's the other one. I got rags in here just to try and, make sure no water gets down in the intake runners. These heads have been gone through. I looked at them myself, but so it's got new springs, new retainers, all that happy jazz. But I want to make sure no water got into them, because I did take a while to clean these up and try and make them look halfway decent. But now that I'm in here, I'm going to do the same thing with the Scotch-Brite. I'm just going to peel this rag back so you can actually see what I'm doing. I'm going to clean this up just a little bit, scuff it up, make it look a little shiny. Do the same thing with the other side, which I don't know if you can see, and this camera angle is probably horrible because I can't multitask apparently. But I'm just going to grab these and my bolts. I'm gonna grab the bolts and the steam port. I'm gonna come back here. Sorry for the shakeage. Throw the bolts down real quick. Pop these in. If you can see, pop that one in. I'm gonna throw a bolt in it so it just doesn't move right away. Give me a little bit of hope that I can do this somewhat easily with one arm, one hand, and one eye basically. But now we've got that in. I'll take this one, get it put into place. We're gonna try and get that bolt to start. Hopefully it does. I may need 2 hands, but we'll get there when we get there. Never mind, I think I got it. Never mind, I didn't get it. I'm an idiot. Okay, well, I got that to start. I'm gonna go tighten those down now. That's a pain to try and do one-handed. I'll be back when it's done. And just like that, we're bolted in. It was not graceful or pretty, but I felt like a fat ballerina, so I'll take it. But basically, still got to figure out the cooling system. I got to order some parts for that. And then after that, I'm going to bolt. Next time I work on this, I'm going to bolt this down because that was the big thing I was waiting on. I'm going to hook up the harness behind this, obviously before I take everything out. But we're almost ready. It's almost time. And then I got to figure out a way to get the harness inside for the Holly and wire the Holly in, which shouldn't be too crazy. After I get the harness set in and hopefully the cooling system wrapped up, I am going to actually get this in the shop. I got to put the clutch in, I gotta drop the fuel tank for a fuel pump, and I gotta run some fuel hose up here. I got a neat little kit to go on this. I know that's not factory location, but with the alternator, I had to block this off because I couldn't run it across. And yes, I made the mounts for this. Don't look too closely. It's a low pressure system. It's not crazy. After that, it's wrap some things up, wire up the fans, do some other little things, and we should be good to start this. So I'm very excited, and I can't wait to keep working on this. But thanks for watching. That's it for this video. Let me know in the comments if you want to know anything else about the build. I can let you know. No, it's not for sale. I've had many people ask me to buy this truck. And thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, share the content. It helps me out and helps grow the channel. Thanks. Bye.